Good morning, gang. Happy Thursday morning. Okay, we are now a day and a half-ish away from a potential another government shutdown. And how should we prepare for it in case some of this stuff affects us? All right. So here's what's going on. As I told you the other day, the House passed a continuing resolution pretty much on party lines. One Republican was against it, one Democrat was for it, and yada-da-da-da, there we go. It's just funny because remember when we talked about this last November, they're just going to kick the can down the road and they're going to kick this out to March and they'll do nothing, and then come March, we'll hear panic in the last couple of days. Well, guess what? We're in a panic of those last couple of days. The Democrats held a meeting last night, and have announced that they will vote against the continuing resolution that passed in the House. Now, whether or not that happens, of course, this could be political gamesmanship, and they're just saying that to freak everybody out. Here's the reason. The House passed this bill with no earmarks. No special interest money or anything like that. We know how the Democrats love to launder money through NGOs and stuff. But Chuck Schumer came out last night and said, well, we want to be able to put some amendments in, meaning I want to put some earmarks in there. I want to be able to fund transgender mice or something. Yes, Sienna, that actually happened. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. As it stands right now, the Senate looks the same as the House. One Republican against, at this point it's Rand Paul, and one Democrat for, and that's John Fetterman. So, all right, that means that the bill needs another 7 Democrats to pass. The Democrats historically bitch about the threat of a shutdown, except this time they're the ones that are potentially going to do it. Now, to give you an idea what this CR does, it basically caps the spending as the same as it was last year, minus all the earmarks. So the same amount of money goes to the same places, yada-da-da-da. They moved around some money from the earmarks. One thing like the VA is going to get an extra $6 billion. Okay, I'd say that might be okay. We might want to treat our veterans a little better than we treat our illegals. It's amazing how illegals can get free housing, free food, but our veterans just get left out on the street. Anybody who's been to a VA hospital, a VA doctor, knows exactly what I've talked about, waiting forever to get an appointment, too. It's better than it used to be, but it's still 6 months. Don't call up your VA doctor and say, Doc, I just fell out of a tree. What do I do? Go to the emergency room. That's it. Go use civilian doctors and send the VA the bill. That's how that's going to work. Thank you, Donald Trump, for passing that last term. But what should we all be prepared for? What's going to shut down if, again, could be gamesmanship. It might pass tomorrow, but I'm just going to give you a heads up because what we do is prep for possibilities. And when they're saying they're going to do it, sometimes you take them at their word. So you're going to have a lot of federal agencies like the Department of Commerce, the Department of Education, the EPA, Department of Housing and Urban Development. They're going to lay off a bunch of people. Now, mind you, that's how this works. They get to go to work, or they get to stay home. They won't get paid while they're staying home, but when they come back, they get all their back pay. That changed in 2019. But how does that affect us? Well, probably not a lot, Maybe if you live in HUD housing, maybe, and you're in the midst of trying to get something done, that might cause a problem. But for the most part, Department of Commerce isn't going to affect us directly. Department of Education, hell, they're trying to shut it down anyway. The EPA, okay, Lee Zeldin's doing a pretty good job of cleaning house in it. That one doesn't make a whole lot of difference to us. I mean, this is fine. Shut those down. I'm good with it. No problem. The next one, national parks, museums, visitor centers, yada, yada, yada. Anything managed by the National Park Service. This is the one they always freak out about. Oh my God, somebody's got a vacation planned to the Grand Canyon or going to Washington, D.C., or they want to go to the Smithsonian. That's going to be closed. Yes, okay. That sucks, but I got to put the health of the country's economy in a little bit higher priority than somebody's vacation. Okay. Yeah, your vacation plans may have to change. Sorry. Okay. But, all right. Then we start getting into some of the other stuff. Okay. Processing passports. That'll probably stop. Small business loans, which you got a lot of small businesses that are surviving on at this point. You know, those are going to be stopped on the processing. You got a vacation plan that you're going to, I don't know, the Bahamas or something like that here sometime this summer, and you're waiting for your passport, you might be sweating a little bit. Start looking at that. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to reiterate here. This is if Schumer isn't lying to us, right? Okay. All right. So then you get a whole bunch of federal workers that are going to be laid off. Right. Okay. So we're going to get the endless stream of them bitching, I can't pay my bills. I don't have any money. You start taking a look at what the average federal employee makes. Okay. If they don't have any money saved, that's your own damn fault. Gee, I can't pay my mortgage. Gee, I can't pay my rent. Gee, I can't pay my electric bill. Well, maybe you should have done what all of us have said for years and years and years and years and years and years and years, is have 6 months worth of bills in savings so you could outlast any personal SHTF event. Okay. Moving on. All right. So now let's talk about regulatory stuff. Oh, trust me, this gets good. Okay. The FDA is going to have to scale back on safety inspections. Okay. That one might be something to pay attention to. You know, how much do we hear with them doing all the safety inspections of salmonella or listeria or metal shavings in something? Yeah, now all of a sudden, maybe not. Okay. So this goes into your putting food back. Maybe you just want to be eating the food that you bought before tomorrow, because the stuff that starts on Saturday might not be being inspected. You might want to skip that for a little bit, okay? Today is, what is today? March 13th. In 1 month and 2 days, income tax is due. The IRS is affected on this. They're likely to limit operations, not tax processing. Okay. Of course, that's funded separately. That's essential government stuff. Okay. So they got to make sure they can take your money from you. But this could delay audits. And I know people say, cool, I don't have to worry about it. Go through an audit and see how much your blood pressure goes up and where your stress levels are. Okay. You get that letter in the mail. There, other than hearing your kid died, you're getting audited by the IRS is probably the second worst letter you're going to get in the mail. Okay. Delaying that, most people are like, let me get this over with already. That's not a good thing. But the big one, a month before taxes are due. Taxpayer assistance. You have a question, you need to call the IRS. You think the somebody be with you in 2 hours and 20 minutes is bad. Hi, somebody be with you in 2 days, 2 hours and 20 minutes is what you might get next. Okay. Oh, I'm going to go to sleep. It's only another day and 40 minutes left. Ring, ring, ring at 2 o'clock in the morning. Oh, I'm sorry, nobody was there. Click. Right? So we have that issue. So if you have any questions that you might need to ask the IRS, here's an idea. Maybe find an accountant, okay? Somebody that has the answers that they can give you. Or if you have questions that you already know that you have to direct at the IRS, maybe call them today. But the biggest ones, okay? How about this one? Federal courts can operate for a little bit on reserve funds, okay? Which might be okay because we got all these federal judges who keep thinking they're the elected president and saying, no, Trump, you can't stop wasting $2 billion. No, you can't fire corrupt people, yada, 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 all that sort of stuff. So putting them out of a job for a while might not be a bad thing. But here's the bad one. And this is something that matters to all of us. Where do you think all these illegals are going? It's not to the little courthouse downtown. It's the federal courthouse. Immigration is handled on a federal level. If they shut this down, this can stop a lot of the deportations. This is a problem. Because, sure, somebody who's already got a federal deportation order, they can toss his ass over the border, no problem. But somebody that's just been arrested, which is where they're getting now, and they need to get him in front of the court so they can kick him out, there might not be any immigration courts to handle. What do you think the first ones are going to shut down? Criminal courts will probably be the ones that stay open the longest. Immigration courts are the ones that are probably going to close first. Think about it. For 4 years, we didn't care if people even showed up to their immigration hearing. Now we have them. Now we got to concern ourselves with what the judge is going to show up for the immigration hearing. The Democrats will tell you all sorts of stupid stuff, about air traffic controllers, about law enforcement, about your Social Security, about Medicare, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. None of that would be touched. The post office will still work. Your Social Security check is still going to show up. Medicare and Medicaid payments are still going to be made. Okay. The military is not being put on furlough, though this could screw everything up. They won't get a paycheck. Okay. And the interesting part on this one is, unless they changed it, at least because they did when I was in, military used to get paid on the 15th and the last of the month. Then they changed it to the 1st and the 15th of the month. If you don't understand why, I'll explain this one real quick. When they did it, and this was 1985, I think they did. It was October. We didn't get paid on Halloween. We got paid I take it back. We didn't get paid on September 30th. We got paid on October 1st. Why? Because that entire military budget now got shifted to the next fiscal year by doing that. And the military came up and said, look how much money we saved. You didn't save any money. You just delayed everything by a day. But they get paid on the 1st and the 15th. The shutdown goes into effect on March 14th at 11:59 p.m. The next minute is payday. Whether or not the military gets paid on Saturday, we don't know. Whether they process it early, don't know. They'll get paid eventually when the shutdown is over. Again, big if, that's if we have one. But think about all the stories we've heard about the pittance that our folks in the military get paid when so many of them are on food stamps. Okay, married ones, obviously, the single guys and girls eating a chow hall. Okay, but yeah, now let's take the money away from the people that are defending us. Hey, we can send more money to Ukraine. We can send more military equipment to Ukraine. We just can't pay our own military. This is the crap that's going on. This is what we need to watch. I hope to God this is political games. And the Democrats realize they lost their ass in November. I mean, come on, you lost the White House, you lost the Senate, you lost the House. Okay? We don't care. The people in this country save democracy. Democracy said, we don't like what you have to offer. We chose the other guy. So now it comes to the point where the people who gave a mandate to the Republicans to clean up the budget want to not cut anything, just keep us where we were last year, which basically says, okay, we're not going to do inflation-adjusted shit or borrow more money than we already are. You turn that down, this will be the Schumer shutdown. Democrats, you've said for years, you don't like the Republicans threatening to shut down the government. You're doing it now. The way I look at it is this. Either way, shut it down, that stops spending money. Fund this, that stops spending money. In my opinion, no matter what the Dems do, this is a win-win situation for most of us, unless you are affected by any one of these things that I just talked about. It's time we clean up this economy. They're trying. We need to be supporting this because, guys, if this keeps going like it is, Social Security will go broke. Medicare, Medicaid will go broke. The United States will go broke. And you think of it, what happens if this country fails completely? Who comes in to take us over? We're not getting bailed out by Europe, okay? Europe doesn't have two plug nickels to rub together. So we're either getting taken over by China or criminals. Your option. Learn Mandarin or feasibly learn Spanish. Or hopefully we save this country. Pinball out.